and welcome to another edition of the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And today we're talking about a little classic, American cinema classic, which I thought was a war movie. It's not. It's not a war movie.
It is in a way. It is in a way.
Yeah. The War on the Mob.
The War on the Waterfront.
Yes. What's the movie called?
On the Waterfront.
It's called On the Waterfront. If you ever heard of this movie, it's got an actor, an unknown actor. Very unknown. I never heard of him. Marlon Brando. Have you heard of Marlon Brando before?
At the time, he was fairly unknown.
Wasn't he in The Good Father or something like that?
Yeah.
The Good Father, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an offer you can refuse.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's Marlon Brando. I mean, come on. Marlon Brando. It's Marlon Brando.
Yeah, this movie has a ton of huge names from old Hollywood. You got Marlon Brando, Elia Kazan's the director,
yes.
Leonard Bernstein's the composer, Lee Cobb is in it, Rod Steiger's in it in a small role.
Yeah, as the
it's
brother.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got a pretty good score, too.
Yeah, Leonard Bernstein. Don't mess with him.
And of course, we can't forget the kid.
The kid?
The kid. It's on the roof.
Oh, one of the kids, yeah.
So a pigeon for a pigeon. Like, that's acting there. That's acting. I'll say this movie is from 1954.
Yes.
And
it's black and white.
When it's a 1954 mob movie, you know it's 1954, and they're like, you better watch it, Buster.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mind it. I just like, when I hear Buster, I'm like, this is definitely the 50s.
Yeah.
I love how when they establish the mob people, they're so ugly. There's that one guy is like, he was like Abe Vigoda, but if he was 6 foot tall.
Some of those guys might have been in other mob movies, at least at the time, if not later.
I feel like the vice president guy, I feel like he looks like...
Oh, by the way, there is another guy, and I'm surprised you haven't brought him up, since you are a fan of things Halloweenish. A certain Munster was in the movie. Fred Gwynn.
Wait, what?
He's uncredited as one of the union delegates.
I think I know exactly who it is.
Slim is what he's named.
I love Mac, truck. You have to put them two together, obviously.
So
it's basically about the mob. They're like a union kind of. The mob's kind of taking over the port union. Yeah,
it's a conflict with the union and longshoremen, dock workers, and back then, and even up and through the 70s, mob. There was a lot of mob affiliation with some of the unions.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Jimmy Hoffa, Jimmy Hoffa was affiliated with Teamsters at one point. He was the president. So
then he just disappeared off the face of the earth. I wonder why.
But yeah, it's about that, and it's kind of more on a micro scale.
Yeah, it's more about you should everyone's like this is a a great movie about informing. Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, yeah, I guess it's more of a
very
power struggle to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. It's very kind of American style storytelling, standing up against oppressors.
Yeah.
And Lee Cobb does a great performance as Johnny Friendly.
He's not friendly.
No.
Spoiler.
He's everybody's favorite bad guy. You remember 12 Angry Men, which we might get to. It's on the Criterion Collection. Yes. Lee Cobb again strikes. He's the dissident guy. He's
so angry, and I like about the script. It tells because you see scripts these days are just awful to the point where they don't explain things. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't Johnny Friendly kill Terry? Because he might be indicted. So that he hides everyone's guns, and it's little things like that.
Yeah, and it's
add to it.
And it's not super expositional, overtly obvious. There might have been a couple times where that happens.
I feel like the ending is a little much for me.
Oh, the very melodramatic.
The walk.
Yeah.
That's a little. I feel like you could have done probably 2 or 3 different endings that could have had the same effect. Let's say Johnny Friendly kills Terry, and all the dock workers are like, you know what, we're gonna rat you out. We're witnesses. You could have done it that way. You could have just been Terry beats the fuck out of. Sorry to cuss, but he should beat the crap out of Johnny Friendly.
Well, I think.
I mean, I get why they did it, but I thought it was a little much.
I think it's more. Elia Kazan, he ended up being, I think, blacklisted by Hollywood at one point. So it doesn't surprise me that it had this kind of ending.
Yeah.
I mean, this is back when he's getting into Hollywood. Him and Marlon Brando. I'm not sure if they did this one or A Streetcar Named Desire first. Somebody correct me on that. I think it was A Streetcar. Because I think that was the play they were working on, and then they decided to make a movie, and then they did this movie.
Yeah. But Marlon Brando steals the show in this movie. Yeah.
Marlon Brando, you got it's the one of the most memorable lines is the I could have been a contender line. It comes from this one, and it's such a great scene too, with him and his brother.
Like in the car.
Yeah, in the car.
Yes,
I could have been a contender scene. That whole exchange is great. Ava Marie Saint is in it too. That's right. I forgot. It's introducing Ava Marie Saint.
He's a very complex character. Mm-hmm. And he's very kind of broken because of he could have been a boxer.
Well,
they don't make a big deal of it, but they kind of weave it into the dialogue to where it's part of his character.
Yeah, and it's a really nice job of building, this is a guy who's been told this entire time, you're a bum, you suck, and he knows he could have won. And he did it for his brother. He did it for the gang, but they all still put him down. Yeah, it's a guy breaking out of that shadow and of this oppression,
and getting the girl.
Yeah,
and the priest.
To a degree.
Don't forget the priest.
Yeah, it's back. This is back when priests were seen as much more pious. I mean, there's still hints of them.
If this movie was made in 2017, the priest would be behind the whole scheme.
Yeah. It has a more positive.
I'm glad they didn't go that route.
They hint at the fact that they know that there's bad priests. Terry Malloy goes, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. And then this priest really stands up for it.
I love the name Terry Malloy.
Yeah.
I'm mad about
famous
I'm mad about the pigeon. Mad. Very mad.
Should be.
That kid. Screw you, kid.
That's not cool.
I hope your Hollywood career didn't pan out. You golden warrior idiot. Pigeon for a pigeon! No, what did the pigeon do? What did the pigeon do to you?
Well, and
I get it, but what did they do to you?
I know. I mean, it's such a great, They tie in all of these elements, these details that really fleshes out the world and shows how ingrained the mob is into the community, because he's in the neighborhood right by the docks, and everybody there is a dock worker.
Yeah.
So, or every man there is a dock worker.
Yeah.
And it's a great movie, man.
It was ahead of its time, I think. Just little things like script.
It's no surprise that it won Best Picture. It's no surprise that it won all the awards and is nominated for everything that it was. It's not surprising that it's considered one of the best movies that in American cinema and probably world cinema too. It's fairly highly regarded.
Yeah. All right, so I guess the burning question on the Waterfront is buy, rent, or skip.
I'm gonna say it's a buy. I think everybody should watch it at least once.
I'm gonna say buy.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards rent and buy because I feel like people teenagers right now, the super millennial kind of character. I don't think they would be interested in this movie at all. But I think if you're a film buff, you should definitely own this movie. If
you're a film buff and you
I never watched this movie. I never watched this movie till now.
Right.
And I was like, why did I wait this long?
Yeah, it's so good.
Because I love mom movies.
And I think it may if you found an average teenager, an average young person, and just plopped them down, they might not resonate with it as much.
Yeah,
I see where you're coming from, but I certainly think some of them would, dealing with pressures like.
But I'm gonna say bye.
It reminds me a lot of some of the those 90s kind of trying to think of the right term, like things like Boys in the Hood. and Juice.
Yeah, Juice.
Yeah, it reminds me of those. Like you're following a character dealing with those pressures.
Yeah.
And so.
Did we just compare On the Waterfront with Juice?
Yeah, both great movies, man.
Juice.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll
that's
do
buy. That's buy from both of us.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this movie? Is there any other mob movies or crime movies that we have not done on Criterion Connection you want us to do? Put us in the comments section down below. Be sure to hit like on this video. Tell your friends. Share it. Subscribe to the channel so you get more Criterion Connection. We're nearing the Christmas season. And I didn't know there was so many Christmas movies. We're not going to do one next week.
This one almost worked.
Yeah.
This one takes place around Christmas.
We're not doing one next week. I don't believe the one next week is going to be is Christmas.
I don't remember.
All right. So
I don't remember what we have scheduled.
The last two are Christmas related.
Okay.
And we're not doing Fanny and Alexander because I don't have time to watch Fanny and Alexander.
Really?
It's like 5 hours long.
Well, we were going to do the extended cut, right?
Maybe next year, maybe next Christmas. But we have a lot of things.
Have to watch it in July.
We're already planning January and February, so please put your suggestions in ASAP so we know what to sprinkle in because there's been a lot of announcements for those months. So, yes. So do all that and, till next time, we'll see you on the waterfront.